Right, welcome back. Still on a knackered camera. Focus. So last night we were playing with spoilers and talking about changing the back because I've changed everything else. And Jonathan pulled out this big massive carbon aerofoil off a race car, like a proper bit of kit. And I was talking about taking this middle bit out, and then because if we're going to take a mould of this, the mountings are there on it, so it would make sense to put the mountings there or on the end, but it's already got mountings there, so that brought the suggestion of cutting this further out to meet up with those mountings. And then in this section we're going to get another section of that, because we'll be able to reproduce it, to make an adjustable blade in there, from there to there, and then there'll be an optional extra, shall we say, an additional piece not part of the original mould that will go onto there to form the upright for the mounts for the spoiler. So it gives us a choice of two different ways of doing it. We have it just cut out there, and I've done drawings for it, so it looks pretty cool with these being smaller and that not there. Looks pretty cool just by itself. So I'm gonna fire up the old Milwaukee chop saw, and I think I'll be able to get at most of that. I can't find the air saw, it's went missing, so I'm gonna have to hack away at that until I get it out, but sure I'll manage. Even sat on top of there, it looks good.
Aye, not bad, aye.
You know, if it was kind of...
Let's make end plate brackets.
But I do like the idea of the mounts.
Aye.
So I think it...
You could just have bolts in there with a thing coming up to support it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to put a wing
In there.
A wing in there.
Yeah.
Because then you just have a pivot point wherever you put it. And then end plates carrying on up to the wing to support the wing, and then this can just be flat.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot easier.
So now we've got two big old holes in the back. I may as well fiberglass this from the back, just tape it up and fiberglass it straight into place. That end as well I can do that way, and then I'll have a solid end, and then I just need to shape up that end. I need to build up like 30 mil there.
Oh, you're going to close that bit off?
Yeah. So it's like it matches that side, like that. Obviously, just a slight rounding on there.
Let's say if you put plates up, you wouldn't even need to round it.
Well, that's set so that the mount's there. Well, I suppose I'm putting the blade in there anyway, aren't I?
That's what I mean. You'd be better having flat ends with a plate coming up to support the wing.
Yeah, because it needs to
and then
move, so it'll have
pivot.
Yeah. So if I was to put like plates that went forward, that would give us a front mounting point and that's adjustable, and it'd probably have to pivot from there.
I thought you were going to motorise it.
Well, how easy is it to do that? You see how things get out of hand. Like,
relatively easy.
I'd love to motorise it, but I also want to motorise the back, and that turned into a pain in the arse.
It's easy to do that, stepper motor do that.
Well, either way, it's going to be adjustable, either just through like a manual bolted system or some sort of actuator, and it still needs sidings for it to move in.
Yeah, flat sides be the easiest.
Yeah.
And then flat blades to carry on up into mounting the wing.
So there you go. Those need widened out a little bit, so it centres on where the mounts are going to go. Well, you heard the conversation, didn't you? So we're going to make aluminium uprights, which saves making, because it would have been a mission in itself making the independent mounts out of carbon, which is sort of what I'd envisioned, but not wrong with some big or chunky aluminium either. And I don't think we're going to add anywhere near 3 kilos with this what we put back in it, so it's going to be lighter as well. So we've now measured up, got a new centre. This centre wasn't quite right because I measured it off the front of the hole, but the hole wasn't central, so we've got more triangulation now, and that is the centre. So we've now got 2 cut lines to go out there, and then there'll be a flat plate going on there so that we can then bolt an aluminium upright to it. Right, so I've got 4 18 by 14 squares marked out on this flat bit of fiberglass sheet that we made, and I'm going to use those to glue into place to cover the holes, and then fiberglass from behind, and then remove those, and that'll create the shape back to sort of what it should be. So that now gives us those 2 sections there, that side and that side, which I'll sand around the edge so that the new fiberglass matting sticks well to the clam, and then just glass straight over the top of that and put a good couple of layers on it anyway, and then I'll remove the mould parts, and we should have a nice square finish on the return. It'll still need a little bit of filler, but it won't need a lot of fiberglass on the outside because it'll all be done on the inside. So this bar is the framework for the hinges that goes in there. So while I'm fiberglassing down there, that needs fiberglassed in as well, so that I can get rid of the bolts and then finish off the roof. So I may as well do this at the same time, as soon as I've got the fiberglass out. So what I'm doing, it's quite pitted with rust. It was just a bar from outside, so I'm going to treat that to kill the rust, because obviously I'm going to fiberglass that into the roof of the car, and I don't want it rotting. So I'll give it a coat of this, and I'll give it a coat of paint as well before I put that in. Need to peel this glue off around the edge. They both lifted off because the clam flexed, so those bits came away from the panel. I had to stick that back down. It's all right. 2.7 kilos. of resin stashed in the back. Right, so this is where we're at now. Back end's now had its operation. I'll be building this section up here so that it's the same as that, so it'll come round on the inside edge the same as that down to there, and then flatten this lot back, shaping it up. And it doesn't look much different, but because I've sprayed that, you get the idea of like how paintwork will go on it. That will be black and that will be black. And we've just been talking about 3D printing an insert to go in there, possibly with like horizontal slats rather than mesh, because it'll have to be attached to the clam, won't it?
Yep.
Can't get away with it attaching to the body because it would just catch when it opens. So that'll be attached to the clam and move away from this. So it needs a rigid side up here. You can't just put mesh by itself. So we're just discussing 3D printing something, then it'll be nice and rigid and won't flap about. And then that can fix onto that inner face there, and it'll be solid right up against that lip. You get a right good fixing like that, if it's rigid, you know. I'm not going to take these bolts out of here until last minute, just to let that fiberglass that I've put in there set properly and make sure it's got a good hold of the bar. I don't need to take them out yet until I'm working on it. So yeah, we've changed the back end. Just give it quite an unusual look now. It's interesting to see it wider. Hang on a second, I'm going to lay the back window in. Interesting, it's going to look good with that blade in there. It's been an afternoon. What time is it? It's like 7 o'clock, just about. So I started on it I got here about 12, didn't I? But I didn't get started on it straight away. Say about 1, so about 6 hours it took to chop that out, fiberglass back in and fiberglass the bar in, just to give you the gauge of how long stuff takes. So next thing is to, well, with that, I mean, we've got other things to be getting on with as well, but I'll get that shaped up, and we'll just have to take a mould of that blade there, because I think we can still use that same mould but get a smaller blade out of it just by shortening that thin lip. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, pressing buttons, subscribing and all that sort of stuff. Let us know what you think of this, because this is quite a change as well. Like, what's the thought on the bumper, and what do you think about this? The RB200 aficionados are going to be losing their shit right now, I reckon. Looks good from this angle too. I like it. It's weird actually how, like, now you can really see that actually dips off down, pointing down the way, that panel. It goes up to that point there and then comes back down. I never really noticed that until those were gone. Anyway, see you later.